I be thinking nigga go through. We gotta learn from that shit. See, dope shit.
See, I try to understand this shit, man.
I keep
So much shit come from left and right. I don't even got no more room for pain.
Good to be here, bro.
So dope to have you here today. Blessing the Gym Mafia Podcast, man. A bodybuilder.
Yeah, man.
You know, everybody always talk powerlifting. Everybody want to be strong. Everybody want to keep eating, get big and bulky, but you never see people that really focus on getting smaller, cutting up, and not just getting small. It ain't like you're puny now. You're bigger than me. You're talking about muscular cut, and you walking across that stage, and you bending and turning, and flexing all those different muscles, right? And nobody really understands the iron discipline it takes to achieve that ultimate physique, to as though not only do you have it, you compete against other men that put in the same work. Tell us, how does it feel to walk across that stage, man?
Well, no matter the discipline, right? If you're a powerlifter, you're a bodybuilder, strongman, everyone sees it and thinks it's easy. They think, oh, strongman are just, and powerlifters, they're just big, overweight guys that can lift heavy weight. They don't see all the work that's behind it. Same thing with bodybuilding. It's all the same crap. Yeah. So, it feels damn good to be on stage. And because what people forget, once you go on stage, once you're at the show, that's your time to exhale. Yeah. People get even more stressed out show day. And I think that comes with inexperience. Yeah. But show day it really is about you. It's about you to shine. Show what you've done for the last months of your prep, however long that prep is. Yeah. Everyone's got different reasons for why they compete. Maybe they want to go pro. Maybe they want to be, best in the world. Right. Maybe they just lost weight. Maybe, they had death in the family and this was their outlet. Yeah. I know there's a guy at Exile. I met him years ago. Quietest, nicest guy in the world. And I think about him all the time because he lost his son. Wow. He lost his son, and working out was the only thing that saved him. That was his outlet of dealing with, life-altering trauma, right? Yeah. So the gym and competing, you want your glory, you want to win, you want to do well, but it's much deeper than that. It really does become life-saving for a lot of people. It can change the course of how you perceive your life, change how you go about hitting goals, how you just, because the struggles you learn in the gym are directly the struggles in real life,
How did you get started in bodybuilding?
By accident. By accident.
Tell us that story.
So, I was always in fitness. I played sports all my life. Baseball, basketball, ran track.
He was all around.
All around. Baseball was my main sport. My dad was in the military. Hard Army guy. Yeah. Old school.
Salute to him.
Yeah. I'll give you something to cry about type of guy. Discipline, respect were number one, top priority. So fitness and being strong was just always ingrained in me. And you go through school, maybe you go to college, maybe you don't, but eventually you get into a job and you get sedentary, right? Yeah. And for me, I was working in an office, in front of a computer for 8-9 hours a day. Yeah. And there were always snacks. There was always cupcakes. Lunch was catered almost every day, So it was always the most delicious, calorie dense foods you could.
He said cakes. I just thought about my
cakes.
Cabinet.
Cakes, cupcakes, brownies, muffins, all the fattening stuff were there all the time. And then one day I just didn't like the way I looked and I needed to change. So I got into running actually to start. That's where I had to learn bodybuilding all over again because I don't know if you experienced this, but bodybuilding wasn't as big culturally as it is now.
I agree.
So like when I was younger, I worked out for sports, but I was in the gym just for the training aspect. I wasn't in there as a lifestyle trying to like really push what I could do.
Right.
So I had to essentially learn that from the ground up, and running was a good way to just train my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I always ran track, but I ran short distance.
What part of running helped train your mind? What discipline you got from running?
Not to quit.
Okay.
Not to quit, because
that's the main thing.
Yeah, when you're running for miles at a time, and the distance, if it's miles or for time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the mental fortitude.
Right.
So I think people who run long distance, half marathon, marathons, ultra marathons, all that kind of stuff, there's a mental because your body gives up. You have to be stronger than your body's ability to quit. And that's what I got from that.
It's funny that you said that, not to go off track, but one of the things I've been dealing with was like this locking in, staying on my routine and getting bored with my routine.
Sure.
And once upon a time, the mental part was like this, getting through it.
Yeah.
And pushing the line, creating bigger numbers to reach, right? And that's what kept me going. And then as of recent, I started getting bored with my workouts, right? Not finishing it, cutting it in half.
Yeah.
And just making excuses why I didn't need to finish or why I didn't need that. And what happens over time, you look in that mirror, you walk past that mirror, it's not the same person no more.
The body's not gonna lie. So you have to be stronger than your mind, because your mind will convince you, you don't need an extra rep. You worked hard enough. Yep. Yo, life is crazy right now. Yep. It's okay. You were here. You showed up. That's enough, right? So
minimum.
Yeah. So when it comes to all that, discipline is everything, right?
Yes.
But I think working out should, to some level, be enjoyable.
Yes.
It's not always going to be fun.
I agree.
Sometimes on a leg day, you just gotta bear through it, right?
Yeah.
There's days where I'm in there and people are like, you don't look happy. Well, I'm fucking not right now. I'm grinding through these squats. Exactly, I'm over here just trying to breathe. That's how my leg days are. If I'm having a hard workout, I'm in another world. Yeah. I'm not on Earth right now. My mind is gone. I'm just trying to recover so I can do it again. But there's a gear that can sometimes click on for people.
Yeah.
And you can kind of feed into that, and that becomes like fuel for the fire for your workouts. Like, yeah, it sucks, but digging into that deep place that most people don't want to go is what makes you better.
You have to.
You have to.
And it's like, for me, it'd be that dark place, digging into that place in a playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I won't listen to music outside of the gym. Only if I'm driving for like 2-3 hours somewhere, right? But I won't listen to music outside of the gym, because that's just like, that's sacred. I gotta go to that place, and I need that music. Don't call me on the phone,
right?
No nothing.
Yes. So I'm so glad you mentioned it, because I wanted to make a video about it, kind of making fun of myself. I stopped listening to music when I work out about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And music for a lot of people can be a motivator, but for me, it ultimately became a crutch, because I didn't like the fact that I needed that stimulus to get me through a hard set or to get me hyped up. Like, not to get too dark too quick, but I got enough demons and pain that I just tap into it. And the more it was hard in the beginning. It was hard, but it's like anything. It's like, needing your pre-workout, or not wanting to lift without your straps or your belt or something like that. I didn't like the fact that I hated that. Exactly what you're talking about. People think you're crazy. People are like, I don't know, you're a psycho for, you're like,
no. But when you make that,
I want to be in the moment.
Yeah, because like you said, when you get addicted to raps and you think you need it, you think you need it and you really don't. Sunday I wrapped my knees about the squat, and I didn't even realize I had my belt on until I went down.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was only like 325. I was
sure.
Dropping. I didn't even realize I didn't even need it. But mentally, I always tell myself, in order to lift, because let's say if you fail, you're going for a big lift, a big press, or a big squat, and you fail, and somehow it becomes the fault of one of those things not being right versus what's really going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus how much sleep you had, or how you worked out the whole month of building those supporting muscles before you did that big lift. So I agree with you when it comes to that, man. I definitely do. another thing, just real quick, right? Because all right, when I look at you, I think about the terminology. I stay ready, so I ain't gotta get ready.
Yeah.
It's like you're always in prep mode. Every time I see you, you're posing, right? And it's not just that. Now we all see you. Every muscle, everything is chiseled out, right?
Well, I try. Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, but it is. You're welcome. It's the truth. And the average person, right? Because we all want to look good, and you know, we working hard. We'll stop eating something or stop drinking sodas because we want our core to look like yours. We want to turn like this and everything just, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like you said in the beginning, people think it's easy until you actually try.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people can't reach that level, not even on a mediocre level.
Most people don't want to dig deep enough.
Yeah, they'll say, well, they must be on enhancements. Yeah. Right? And I know that you're a natural bodybuilder, right?
First, that's the ultimate compliment. If you think I'm on gear,
yeah,
you made my day.
Has it ever been tempting though?
Sure. Because you know, I was in IFBB and you know I was doing NPC forever, and you know you want to be competitive, you want to push it, you want to be someone that can win. But at the end of the day, I just thought about the longevity of it. You know, it's not my cup of tea, and I don't hold anyone against.
Yeah, I don't judge nobody.
No, I don't care. It's just, you know, people would say that I need to grow up.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This, what you got to do is like it doesn't have to be that way. You know, it's not my path, and I'm okay with that.
Can't you see why though? Like in this real competitive industry, why somebody would
of course
try to cut the corners and stuff like that. And
listen, let me cut you off real quick because here's the thing: you got, you know,
talk your talk.
Chris Bumstead, even though he's retired, is still like the number one bodybuilder that people care about, right?
Yeah.
Chris Bumstead went on gear at 19 or something like that, and look who he became. Now, granted, he had the right genetics, right size, and he still had his medical issues, right? Yeah. And there are people out there now advocating to wait on steroids and taking performance-enhancing drugs. But why would any kid want to when they're all looking up to this one person? It's like, well, he did it. Why can't, you know?
They look at the success story. To that point, right? I seen a young guy. He work out at our gym. Cool young dude. I watch him bench. He get to 225. That's a benchmark.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yep.
And then, you know, he go to like 275, right? But he's trying to get there real fast. He is a kid. He my son age.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, I see him. He all breaking out.
Yeah, you can always see the signs.
Yeah, it's like the thing is though, is like, and I get it. It's the instant gratification.
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't it be on the same level as everybody else?
No one has patience anymore.
Yeah. And it's like the funny thing is, like what he's lifting, he could have got there naturally,
right?
By just working a little harder.
Put the time in, dude.
And it goes back to when you was talking about running and training your mind.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, a lot of people that I know, and the only reason I brought up my situation because I knew that was a lack of discipline. You know what I mean? For me. But I remember I still have discipline, but having the discipline and the results I got from it. But going back to the training of your mind, a lot of guys, they work out, but they don't work out.
Well, they're going.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, for a lot of people, I watch people. Yeah. Some people are going through the motions, and some people genuinely think they're doing the right thing, and they're not doing jack shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like we live in a world and a culture now where you can't say anything to anybody, or, you know, you're trying to demean them or put them down. It's like sometimes constructive criticism is a good thing, especially if you put it. I'm a pretty chill guy, and I know how to talk to people. But no matter how nicely you put it, some people just don't want to hear negative things or critiques on themselves. Yeah. So those people never grow and they never change. And then what they do is they get online and they say you're on steroids. Yeah, it's because of this. It's because of that. It's never on them.
I got somebody told me, you know, and I don't look like you. But somebody told me, it's genetics. And I go look around my family. I don't see the genetics.
Genetics is the ultimate. Genetics is the ultimate scapegoat of a responsibility.
When I was in prison, you know, long time ago, before I got upstate, I was in jail before I got. I was in my cell.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. I was working out with the gang members, right? I wasn't a gang member, but they used to do a lot of push-ups and stuff.
Right.
And I remember it was like the big thing to get the 500 push-ups, right?
Okay.
And then I finally got there, and then we start pushing the line. Then we got to 1,000, and one day in my cell, and your cell is probably where that rug ends to this door.
Right.
Walk back and forth and drop. I did 2,700 push-ups.
Jesus.
Right? I got my chest off my ribs. By the time I got upstate, we lifting weights, and I remember the first time I hit 315, and it was like so much blood. I just felt so like I could fly over the daggone fence,
right?
Or whatever. But the point is, when I was there, I put work in, and then I took the same thing when I came home, and I finally got in the gym. I did the same thing, and I started lifting weights the way I did push-ups. I would do all these sets of 10, and I would roll it back to 5, then to be able to get to my ultimate number or whatever. But I put the same thing into it with no formal training, not until like probably 10 years ago, being in the gyms and being around trainers and coaches, that I realized I was just lifting weights.
Right.
And I didn't have any formal training, because people would ask me, how you do this, how you do that? And it's like, I didn't even feel like I was the person to answer the question, but this is what I do.
Sure, but they can see the results enough, And here's the thing, like, no one's expected to know everything. Yeah. You don't know what you don't know. So it's like when people get upset about certain things, it's like, well, you're missing the mark. Like, everyone no one's inventing the wheel. Yeah. Either directly or indirectly, we're all learning from each other. Yeah. So it's, people got to drop that ego stuff. And then I want to get back to what you talked about with discipline and like how yours was kind of like faltering. I think we're all human. No one's a machine, right? Like discipline's gonna falter from time to time, but the key is knowing that you're human. You're gonna make a mistake, and don't stress over the mistake. Just it happened, move on from it, and keep going. That's it. Like you can't make a big deal about it. It's like people get so wrapped up in like, I've been eating clean for 5 days, 6 days. I missed 2 days. It's all over. It's like, no, if you have a bad meal, you have a bad day. All right, that happened. That sucks. Move on and get right back on the program. Don't let it snowball into something bigger that you can't control or you got to dig yourself out of. Like, so.
All right. So you've been bodybuilding for a long time before you had your dreads.
I know. Yeah. A long time.
All right. So like year after year, right? Let's say, you build the courage up, after looking at yourself in the mirror, turning sideways, doing the poses, because it's an art that is.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And getting that down pack, right? And going across that stage for the first time, right? And then, then seeing yourself on that stage the first time, right? What does that look like afterwards when you say, well, I need to work on A, B, C, D. So that following year when I compete, when I turn to the side, there's more of this. And it seemed like if you look at all the history that you have on your page, you can see the progression. Like, but what does that look like for you? How does that work? What's going through your mind when you're prepping in between these shows, working on the things that you feel like you need work on?
Okay, so success in bodybuilding is the same for success in life.
Yeah.
You have to make a plan and stick to that plan. You need small goals to get there. If you want to get this house one day, what do you need to get that house? Yeah. You need to have a good job. What do you need to have that good job? Do you need a degree, a certificate? You need all those steps to get there. How long do I need to be working it? That's what you got to do, right? Yeah. So as far as bodybuilding goes, when I competed my first show, I had no expectations. I did it with 2 really good friends. Yeah. And I just wanted to do it. I had no aspirations of like trying to go pro. I just wanted to have fun. Yeah. I saw the pictures like, okay, I look all right. I got 5th. I was like, all right, I got some hardware. I got a sword. Yeah. It was the Jay Cutler Classic in Baltimore back in 2014, that long ago. Yeah. So I got a sword. I got to meet Jay. That was cool. But then I was like, all right, let's take it seriously. What do I need to do? And I think if you want to be serious in the sport or anything in life, you got to put your ego aside. You got to be able to take constructive criticism. I talked to the judges. They said I need to work on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then I focused on it. And then I applied that until my next show, which was 8 months later, something like that. I did the NPC East Coast Classic, I think it was, Maryland State. Yeah. I won the overall.
Wow.
So, and this is me still training by myself after work, late at night.
Yeah.
I had my one buddy, one of my best friends to this day. He would come by after he got off work, and he would just like watch me pose and help critique me and stuff like that. It's just like, if you want to be successful, it's not about all the flashy stuff. It's like, it's those hard, quiet hours by yourself, alone in the dark, early in the morning, late at night, when no one's watching, when no one's in the gym but you.
Yeah.
Everyone's out. I'm in there on a Friday night. This is back when I used to live Honeygo Boulevard. Yeah. I used to go to the Anytime Fitness over there. I'm seeing people go to the bars. They're up at the restaurants eating dinner, turning up. And I'm in there working. And I use that as power. It's the same reason why I train with no headphones. That becomes my, like, if everyone's doing this, then I'm doing that. And that could be a personal thing for me, but that's my strength. I use that as fuel.
You locked in.
I lock in on that. Oh, you go ahead and party. You enjoy that. I'm gonna enjoy it later when we're on stage.
And as you speak, right, I'm just visualizing, because I see you pose and all that, right? And you pose with a lot of different people. You
can have fun
and motivate a lot of people that you don't even know. You know what I mean? And that's dope hearing that in between. Like you said, the judges, you asked the judges, they said A, B, C, D, F, G, right? And then 8 months later, you come back and went overall. And then I'm pretty sure still looking at yourself and then looking at the men that you got to compete with, because everybody's different, in the way we're shaped to a certain degree.
Sure.
And,
bone structure, all that stuff.
And just coming back and doing it over and over and over again. To is that now like you're the definition of what you should look like. And I don't even think you probably realize that, or maybe you do, but like you are like the definition. You ever think about that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Maybe I'm my hardest critic. I never think I'm good enough.
You're supposed to, and that's it right there. That's what makes you great, because you don't just, all right, I won, and you start taking it easy and slacking. You feel like nobody could come up here. I'm here, everybody else there. I can eat these bonbons. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you it's not just, I could tell. You know how when we was kids, right? They be like, make a muscle, and we do like this.
Yeah.
That was the first muscle that was developed.
It's always bicep.
Yeah, because we always squeezed it.
Right.
So when you're posing, right, you're working out, and then you go up to that posing room, and now you got the blood flowing, and now you posing and doing all this stuff. You sending blood to those muscles. Now you making those muscles contract and come out. It's so much to.
Posing's hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like you gotta be able to pull your lats out. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, learning to pop my lats out was the hardest part of learning how to pose. My first show, I have invisible lat syndrome to the max. Like I'm riding a Harley. I'm just like this.
That's the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like even getting to that where you could just flap your lats like a bird raising their wings. And you know what I mean? And not just that, like I see all the hack squats you do.
Right.
Like you need quads. Like legs for somebody like men of our stature in a sense, right? So one of the things, we don't naturally have big legs, but you was always athletic. That played the part, you always ran. How hard was it for you to develop your legs, to get your legs show ready?
The hardest muscle group by far. And I equate learning how to train legs to going all the way back to running. Yeah. It's all mental. It's mental toughness. It's not quitting. So I had small legs forever.
Yeah. So
it wasn't until, this is the only good thing I got out of COVID, was everything was shut down. I didn't know anybody that had gyms or anything. I had a barbell set where I could bench, squat, and deadlift. That's all I could do. So for those 2 years, I was in my basement squatting, deadlift. I was essentially a power lifter.
Yeah.
And I came out of COVID, I gotta find a picture. I look like a homeless black Jesus. My beard is rough. But I came out and everyone was coming on my legs. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I always had like stick legs.
Do you think so? Like one of the big, debates with smaller leg people like myself, a lot of people feel like squats will grow their legs. And a lot of people say, no, just do all the machines, hack squats and stuff like that. If you was giving somebody advice on growing their legs, what advice would you give them?
If they had no prior injuries and they're A-okay to work out, no issues. I mean, it's what works best for you because we all got different levers, lengths. Maybe squatting isn't the best for you. Barbell squatting isn't the best for your back. Maybe hack squat it. You got to find what works, and then you got to just grill it. You can't bitch out. You gotta go to a place. You have to go to a place where it's uncomfortable. You got to stay there. You got to live there. It's just, it's the same with not training with music for a while. It's hard listening to yourself being with your own thoughts. Mm-hmm. But there was a sense of like hardness and focus that came from training with no music, fucking dying after a hard leg set. I'm just there. I have recordings where it's going on for 10 minutes because I'm just sitting there trying to breathe, long after a set's been over. You have to be, if it comes easy, it's not going to last. And that's the ultimate downfall of steroids, right? Yeah. Quick games come with long problems. Yeah. So if you want to, and it could be any body part. Some people grow legs easy. Some people can't grow their back, can't grow their chest. It does, whatever that body part is for you, you got to prioritize it and you got to work it to the ground. You got to beat it down. You need to eat, and then you need to rest, and then do it again.
You know? Eating. How important is the diet?
So if I had to give a hierarchy, there are three main things that all right, it's training, it's nutrition, and it's sleep. Yeah. I suck at sleep. Sleep is I average, if I'm lucky, 4 hours a night. I can't imagine how much I could grow if
I sleep longer than that.
If I get like 6 hours, I'm like hungover. Like what?
Yeah. Same here.
What month is it? My mind doesn't know I don't know how to shut my mind off. Yeah. And my mind's always racing on ideas, and it's just hard to sleep. Yeah. So training, nutrition, and sleep. Nutrition is so important because it's the building block. You got to feed the body. You can't expect, and I did this for a long time. Like when I say these things, I'm not just like arbitrarily saying them because some study says them. I'm talking from my own experience. I used to eat almost like a bird, thinking that, carbs were bad, just high protein, maybe, not quite keto, but, I ate on the leaner side year round, thinking that was the way to get big, to get strong, put on. But carbs are important. Carbs are just as important as your protein and your fat and your sleep and your training. They all everything serves a purpose. And if you can find a way to maximize that formula for you, you'll see growth that you never would have thought possible. It's carb before a workout makes your workouts better. Yeah. Carbs after your workout just helps in your recovery. It's all important. So my mindset is always keep your protein high. Yeah. Right. And depending on what phase of your training you're in, me going into I'm going in my off season, I'm slowly increasing my carbs as I go. I don't know if we're going to talk about this either, but
you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I don't track my carbs. I don't track my macronutrients like everyone does. I know I hate when everyone's like, "Oh, what's your calorie? I don't know, somewhere around here."
You know why people ask you? Because we see you. You know what I mean? So like,
I just stay in tune with my body. Like, I try and hit protein markers. Yeah. I'm mindful in what I buy. What's in how many carbs I'm getting in like my slices of bread or my sweet potato or my rice. But I'm not measuring things out. Yeah. It's just not my style. Yeah. I go and see my body when I'm really in tune with my body. Yeah. So my body tells me what it needs. I know when I'm really dialed in, I know what time of day it is based off my hunger.
Yeah.
Like that's just how good I've gotten at understanding how my body works.
How many times do you eat a day?
I try and so I've been kind of face planting a little bit since the show's ended, and we're going into what I call Fat Boy holiday season. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah.
But I try and stay around the 6 meal range.
That's a lot of.
I don't like. I noticed once I really got into bodybuilding, I didn't like bigger meals. It was just hard to eat and so I'd rather just break them up. I like smaller meals that I'm not too overly full, but it's got everything I need, and then I'll eat again in like 2.5 to 3 hours. That's kind of my meal, depending on what's going on in my day, either a shake or another meal, and I just treat it like that.
So what does off season look like for you? You said you were moving into off season.
Yeah.
Boy, do you try to stay around a certain weight? I know you don't let yourself go, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what that look like for you?
So this year in particular is unique because I've never done this many shows before. I did 4 shows.
Wow.
I've been in prep since February, March. So like 9 months. I've been essentially in some phase of cutting calories. And at the end of the last show, going into the last show, I was mentally starting to waver, and my body was just, I could feel it. My body was just done. It needed a break.
Yeah.
So this kind of leads into mental health a little bit, but the last show that I just did was the OCB Masters National / Chesapeake Classic. And, you meet people and you watch their, everyone's posting, they're posting their reverse diets, how many calories are increasing, how much weight they've gone up by a pound. Or I can't do any of that.
Right.
I need to create separation, complete separation, just for my own sanity. Like I go so hard during the prep that I haven't, it's been a month. I haven't weighed myself. I haven't looked in a mirror. I don't care. I can't. I need to just be a person. I need to be Roy.
Yeah, because like that was part of, like you said, people posting the calories, pounds, and stuff like that after on the off season. You just think that's more or less about the following and keeping their followers.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
and that's cool too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it, but I definitely understand what you're saying because you put so much into it. As though you got to make time for yourself, whatever that looks like.
It's my mental exhale.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, reverse dieting is important. And I do a reverse diet, but I'm not strict by any stretch of imagination. Yeah. If I want to have a slice of cake, I'm gonna have a slice of cake.
It's funny, guys like you that it don't never be written in stone. It's not no super duper plan. Everything's spelled out. It's kind of just like how you describe.
Yeah, I can't. I just. It's the only way I know how to, because I think you would go crazy if you were 100% dialed in 24/7, all year.
Yeah.
Like I need that mental break. I'm still in the gym training as hard as I can. This whole month has just been about regaining my strength because I was depleted for so long. My numbers are they're at like baseline at best. This week I finally started to feel the strength come back so I can push the numbers, push the reps a little bit more. But, I needed time to just, and again, me talking about listening to my body, I stay away and I exhale as long as I need to. And my body tells me, all right, we can start.
Yeah, and that's another part that you just mentioned, like getting your strength back, because a lot of people don't understand that shred.
Yeah.
Getting rid of water weight and everything so you can have more definition.
Yeah, I think that's harder for especially powerlifters and stuff like that switch over to bodybuilding. Yeah. I've talked to a couple of them where like, oh, I'm cutting and my strength's going down, and they're like upset about it. It's like, well, yeah, that's the idea. You're doing it right.
Sean went through that. Benching 500 pounds and squatting 700 pounds, and now it's like when he got into it, as lost all that weight, cut up, and it's like because that's the big thing. Being strong. Think about
it's an identity. Yeah,
exactly. And now it's like, no, I'm just looking good.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think, and to be honest with you, I'm 44. I think that's the direction I want to go. I wouldn't. Somebody said I should try to buy. Dave said you should bodybuild. I'm like, we all around the same age. You're
heavy up top. You're wide.
I'm not coming in there with y'all. No,
come on, bro. Come join us, man. Have fun, bro.
It'd be like 5 years to get all this, man.
No, you don't need no 5 years. Stop.
That's why I commend, that's why I commend you, because and other brothers like you and sisters, because like it take a lot of courage to take your clothes off. Like everybody got different backgrounds and how they got to the point where they were on stage. They may have been heavy, they may have had different things going on. Like your one friend who lost their son and they changed it all into fitness. Is like that's not that stage outside of the bodies and the hard work. It's a lot of stuff. That everybody found their path to get there.
No one knows their pain that got them there. So like another thing that I've always, why I try and be as uplifting and just positive as I can on stage and like backstage is because, sometimes and again, speaking from experience, you don't have anyone for you in the audience.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a hard thing, especially if you're on stage for the first time. Or, it doesn't matter how you're going out there and you're presenting yourself and there's no one cheering for you. That's a tough thing to go out there and still smile and still put on your best face.
That part right there. See, hold on now.
I've been that guy multiple times.
When I watch you now, Trav, he's into it. Sean, Tim. And the biggest thing is everybody do this and they smile. I'm like, that's where I crack.
Well, here's the thing, because in men's physique, we're the pretty boys. We have to smile. We have to smile. We can't go up there grimacing. Like no one wants to.
I agree. That's a big part of it. But I get it. Like it's a whole thing, and it's like y'all sit there and y'all just like bang. Y'all just go this way and just smile. Like they killed that.
So again, trying to make things my power. If I'm on stage and I know there's no one in the audience for me, my goal is to sway the audience. If I get people start calling my number, or like I know when I hit certain poses, I can hear the reactions in the audience. I know I'm on the right track, because again, especially on a local show, the audience are family members for other people. Yeah. So if you can sway, well, my mom's in the audience. Your mom's cheering for me right now.
So what is the business side of doing shows?
What do you mean?
Like the money side of it. Like when do you get to the point where you start making a profit?
So I mean, ideally, once you go pro, every show there's money involved, right? And I think if you want to be truly lucrative, you gotta have a sponsor. You need to get or a couple. I think that comes from, it's such a weird thing. It's like you want to have the right amount of followers. You want to have the right look. You want to be charismatic enough. You want to be either unique enough or someone that other people want to follow. And like, I know me, I stay in my own lane, and I know what I do isn't for everybody because I'm a big dork, and I just like to combine my loves of fitness and art into one. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. But I think just being able to connect with people is even more important. So I think if you want to be successful and you want to make money, you want to win shows, but from that show, it can't be just about that. It needs to be what you can get from that, as far as like you want to be magnetic, right? People want to gravitate towards you. If you're not likable, it's like, well, it doesn't matter how many shows you win. If people don't want nothing to do with you.
So it's like, it's more of a pageantry as well.
Sure.
So you gotta,
as much as some people don't want to admit it, there's an aspect of that to bodybuilding.
The only place you get to display your personality is on your social media.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, because once upon a time, it's like even with that, because you got people doing everything imaginable just to get people to look, to get clicks, right?
Yeah.
And when you just come as your natural self with no gimmicks, hey, this is me. I look good. I work hard, and I like art.
I think it turns people off though sometimes.
But I think the problem is everybody want to be clones. You know what I mean?
I think everyone's. Don't get me started. I think everyone's a sheep. Yeah. It's just. That's why you have trending things. People just want. You know, you see one song, everyone's used it 1,000 times. If one video works a certain way, everyone just copy. It's a copycat industry. And as someone who's a creative mind, that's what irks me the most. It's just like, you know, I'll watch it. It doesn't matter who it is. I'll watch a post and it's like they're not doing anything, and it's got hundreds of thousands of views, and it's like I can't control that. You there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's just I at the end of the day, you just gotta. I have to stay on my lane, and you know, regardless if people like it or not, I know I'm happy with it, and it makes me happy to do what I do. So, you know, ask anyone who like I've watched a bunch of the videos, you know, of you've interviewed with people. You know, anyone who's happy in their life, it's not about the money is secondary. If you're happy in what you do, everything else will follow. You know, you can't do it to chase the money, because then you're always going to be chasing the money.
I agree.
If you're enjoying what you're doing, the money's just extra.
I think when we look back too, you know, and it's like you're going to see someone who's just being themselves. Versus trying to be like everybody else. And it's like, and that's even with doing this, like everybody got a gimmick. It's like, you know, it's everybody and their mother doing this. You know what I mean? And if it was about making money, I would have been stopped. You know what I mean? So but like for me, this therapeutic because I talk about a lot of different stuff. Like fitness is a big part of my life. It saved my life. You know what I mean? When I stopped drinking, I had my fitness. When I stopped smoking, I had my fitness. It was always a thing. And for me, you know, all of, like we say, we all got roads that we took that got us to the point where we are now. And for me, I was made aware. My father used to come pick me up on the weekend. Let me go there. This the time.
Let's go.
And he used to lift my shirt up. And he'd be like, boy, you skinny. Boy, you skinny. I'm a kid. I don't know what skinny is. I know what skinny and fat is. Right. The way he said it, the tone just made me feel funny.
Sure.
And to this day, I don't take my shirt off outside. Cause I remember I used to have dreadlocks too back in the day. I'm 80s baby. I used to had my dreadlocks. I had 8 shirts on because I didn't like, and I used to always push my shoulders down because I used to always hear my father saying I'm skinny, I'm skinny. So for me it was like, all right, my sister boyfriend used to play, my niece's father, Damon, he used to play football for Forest Park when I was a kid. So he had a little weight bench up trying to lift weights because I'm skinny.
Right.
And it don't matter how big or small I get, the most I probably weighed was like 225.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And in my mind, every time I walk past a mirror, it don't matter when I'm looking my best, I'm still that person.
Yeah.
And I know it.
Yeah.
I still can't shake it. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
you know.
That was for me, like getting in trouble as a kid, going out boys' village out there doing push-ups and stuff. And that was the answer.
Yeah.
That's why doing the numbers and, you know, getting your chest up, whatever, then actually coming home and getting into commercial gyms, and now we on the dark side.
Right,
Exile,
right.
You know what I mean? So, like...
The right side.
Exactly. Shout out to Exile. That's home. But it don't matter. And I'm 44. I still, like, I can't... I don't know how to break that.
There's certain scars that just go deep, and, you know, as lame as some people say it, you know, talking to somebody... Therapy can help. Things can, you know, the mind's a complex thing, and you know it takes a lot to break through those barriers to get to the root of things. And you might be onto something. It's just, you know, sometimes it's just about being courageous enough to take that first step. You know, taking that shirt off, you know.
And so if I do a show, that'd be the thing.
But that's the thing. Yeah, you don't know how many other people have that same mindset.
I'll look at somebody, and to me, right, like even with like somebody that's heavy set, right, and you know how people always talk about heavy set people. Oh, they need to put their shirt on. Look at how they look a mess, and this, that, and the third, this, and they don't care what you think and who's saying what, regardless of how it look, is about how they feel about themselves.
Right.
I wish I had half of that sometimes.
Well, what is the joke? You know, the people that most people think are unattractive are the ones with the most courage. You know, when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's just, but it's like. To that point, it's almost like, you know, you want to be, you should be comfortable in your own skin, right?
Was that just vulnerable?
Huh?
Was that just vulnerable for?
Yeah, I know, right? Good. That's a good thing.
That's real. It's real though. You know, and talking to you, right? Because this is what you do for a living, and you've been doing this for a while. And it's like it may be a light thing to you, but it's a lot of people like me. and I want to be the voice.
Yeah.
And maybe what you say could help me and help other people get over that hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, it takes steps, right? And it's all about that first step. And no matter how easy it is for me to say it, it's always hard to take it. We all have our demons.
Yeah.
All of us. We all have our things that are difficult. But again, just the gym just finds a way to give you that confidence because the gym doesn't lie.
Yeah,
You know, the gym doesn't lie. Either you can lift or you can't. Either your training profits results or it doesn't. If it doesn't profit results, that means your training was trash. So, you know, it all adds up in the end when it comes to the gym. So just get your butts in the gym, man. Go to the gym, work out. And I don't care what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just get in there, move. You know?
Well, look, any closing remarks that you want to give to our listeners?
Okay, right. So we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but this might be a nice way to do it. So I like to garden a lot, and
I've seen that. You got a green thumb.
Yeah, so I got that from my grandfather. My grandfather, my family's from Queens, New York, Cambria Heights.
Okay.
And
New York.
yeah. A Queens backyard is no bigger than this space, right?
Right.
You know, and my granddad grew everything, and tomatoes are my favorite. And so I learned how to garden from him. And there's a lot of parallels between bodybuilding and gardening. It's almost identical because it's all about delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
You plant the seed, you have to water it, you have to make sure it gets sunlight, you have to nurture it, you have to watch it grow, you have to stay on top of it, and you might get the fruit to develop, you might get the gains, you might not. You know, it's all about gardening and bodybuilding are parallels of the journey, and having the mental fortitude to see the process through the end. You know, that you can't rush gardening, you can't rush fitness. You can cheat, you can take shortcuts, but those shortcuts always come with drawbacks. Right. So bodybuilding, as crazy as bodybuilding can be, it's very soothing and therapeutic for me in the same regard that gardening is. Gardening is a very peaceful and what's the word I want to use? Peaceful and just like, no, peaceful works. I know my mind. It's a very peaceful and calming act.
That was a great parallel.
Yeah.
You know, you said not instant gratification, but what was the other one? You said I forgot anyway, but it just had to go through the process.
Yeah, you have to go through the journey. You have to go through the journey. You can't rush it.
Right there, like, because it does take time.
Yeah.
There's a certain time to plant the tomatoes after the last frost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And get it in the ground, like,
and when you bite, there's nothing great. There's nothing I love more than picking a fresh tomato off a vine and eating it. Yeah. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing with when you put in months of work and you see that cut or you see the growth, that gives you all the incentive you need to keep going. And you don't want to turn back. Everyone reaches a point that I know that takes bodybuilding seriously where there's a point of no return. It's like, I can't go back to the way I was.
Yeah.
And that's all it's about. And I think people who think fitness is negative, they see that as a negative. It's like, no, I don't want to go to a point where, I know a couple of people where they had joint pain and, they had edema. It's like, why would you want them to go back to that? Just because now they're a little bit smaller, they're healthier, they're not putting as much stress on their heart. They can move, they can breathe better. Fitness is longevity.
Yes, it is. Because somebody said something, it was like, you don't see too many 300-pound 70-year-olds.
No, your body can't take that stress.
Yeah, and I thought about that, like, absolutely right. And it's like, for me, I wanted to be always like, just lifting the lift. Like, I want to be stronger. I want to be stronger. Then not till I got around like all the guys at Exile. And I'm like, all right, I'm like in this middle where I want to be strong and I want to look good. you could do both, but like you're not going to be a power lifter, and you're not going to be a bodybuilder, right? And it's like, so I'm like, I decided to stay mediocre. You know what I mean? And
man, don't.
No, I'm just saying in a sense, like I'm not either, but I'm a train hard, but it's not like I'm gonna be walking across the stage or going up on the platform trying to squat.
Here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
You can. I mean, everyone. Everyone has to like. I know. I'm going to talk all day if you let me.
Go ahead.
But
if you want to keep going, we can keep going. That's fine.
Everyone wants to put everything into its own section. Like you're either left or right, or you're this or that, or you're a power lifter or you're a bodybuilder. You can be well rounded. You can like aspects of powerlifting, aspects of bodybuilding. Like I don't understand why people have to put everything and everyone into these slots. Like just enjoy what you do. If that means you like to do a little bit of powerlifting, but you bodybuild in this, who cares? Why does that bother people so much?
Like, what is your favorite muscle group to work?
Well, that's almost impossible to answer. So it's typically whatever.
Or the less stress, rather. That's different because you're a bodybuilder.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
There's certain body parts that are just always easy.
Yeah.
But I think whatever I need to improve on is what I end up falling in love with. Yeah. So like, right now I'm focusing again on my legs and potentially my shoulders.
Yeah.
It's that grind of the hell of a leg day, and that I had like today and I was trying to rush out of it because I had so much going on between something before here and then getting here, I had to get up early. So it's like, you just gotta get it done. I enjoy the struggle, but that's the craziness that comes with bodybuilding. And once you submit to this world, you understand that it's just part of the game. Every workout isn't going to be roses. Every workout isn't going to be a PR. And I'm not as a bodybuilder, I'm not into PRs. Yeah. That's a powerlifting thing. I kind of hate it when like bodybuilders talk about PRs and posts. That's my personal like
make your mind up. You over here with us.
Right. It shouldn't be about. Yeah, I mean, I know it's nice to hit those numbers, but it's like it does. As long as it elicit the response in the muscles to grow, it doesn't matter. That's all it's about. So that's that little soapbox on that.
But like, all right, so like to your point, and that's where a lot of that's where the line is drawn. You're talking about getting the muscles to grow.
That's all it is.
Because a lot, it's not that you're just slimming down, you're shredding, and then the muscles that's stuck to your ribs, we see it. No, you know what I mean. Right. you are working, and it's like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to get it in with you. I need some lats.
Yeah, let's go, bro.
It's different because it's like, all right, because one of the problems with lifting, and especially for like the mediocre guys like me, and I mean mediocre. I mean in a sense, my definition of it is they're not necessarily a power lifter. They work out hard. They don't fall under none of the titles. That's I got you. Just so, but we're stubborn.
Right.
So a lot of times it's like we used to doing this way, and we just look the same. We won't look like you or be as strong as the power lifter, but that's the thing. Like so for me to come over there on your side, like I'm afraid if I come on your side, I ain't gonna want to leave.
Well, I mean, we all get kind of caught. We all get stuck in our own way of doing things, right? We're all a little stubborn in that regard, and we don't want to change things up. But if you're not willing to change, you're not going to grow.
Yeah,
I agree. So
because your muscles get used to it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't care if I'm working out with a guy or a girl, old or young. If they have knowledge, all I care about is when I pay a gym membership to work out and grow so I can win bodybuilding shows. Yeah. That is the first reason why I'm there. After everything else is secondary. So if I can meet good people with the right mindset that can help me grow and we can help each other grow, I'm all there for that. I just don't have time for people's BS. Mm-hmm. Like some people are in the gym to socialize and that's fine. Yeah. I'm not one of those guys. I'm a friendly guy and I like to talk, but it's, some people are there just to be there. And
you got a schedule though. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Like when you got a schedule, it's like, all right, I got this window of time.
Oh, I
want to work hard in this window of time. So it's like kind of get hard. You talking to 15 people.
I see people doing laps around the gym, just running their gums. Mm-hmm. They're just training their jaw. Yeah, and I'm like, when are you gonna start working out?
Yeah.
You know, and then like, you want to work out with me? You don't want to work out with me. You don't want to work out with me.
Wait, like I'm at work at 4 a.m.
Right.
So like, and you know, then it's like I got a family too, and I'm pretty sure other people got families. So when I get in there, I gotta
Listen. Also, I'm gonna look at the camera again. Anyone with a family who works out, you have my ultimate respect because you don't have the freedom. You don't have the choice. If you have kids and you have a family, you have to be dedicated. You have to prioritize your time. And you got to execute. Or it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And those people, I think, understand it more than anyone else because they know if I don't wake up early, I'm not going to get it done. Yeah. If I go home after work, I'm not going to get up off the couch. Like I would just, I would go right after the gym. I mean, right after work, or I wake up early in the morning. If you have kids, you're carting on to basketball, baseball,
Yep.
You're exhausted.
Yeah.
You're a parent first, and then you got to make time for this. And sometimes that means you're coming at odd hours.
Yeah, and that's if another thing, if you got a lady or you're a lady and your man, both of y'all go to the gym together, that's a plus. Don't take that for granted because a lot of times we try and juggle the family, spending time with our kids, then spending time with our other half. If you and your other half go to the gym together, it just alleviate the whole.
It's something else you share.
Yeah, that and the guilt of spending a whole lot of time in the gym trying to look a certain type of way, and they understand it because they're there with you, even if y'all not working out together.
So There's a great segue into a conversation I had this morning with this girl. So she's on her journey to becoming a more fitter, stronger individual, right? Yeah. But her family is not they're not against her, but they don't want to live her lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So, she's struggling.
Her family like mom, dad, or like her
husband, kids.
Okay. Oh, right.
They're not saying we don't want you to do this, but they're like, they're not
super supportive.
I'm not going to eat the way you want to eat,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I was talking to her and it's just like, listen, can a kid make it out the hood and become a great success? Yeah. Is it harder to leave an environment that is trying to actively work against you? Yeah. If you want to be successful, you got to surround yourself with successful people. You got to it's anything in life. If you want to be a good bodybuilder, you want to get a physique that you want, that you can be proud of, you got to surround yourself with people that are trying to do that. If you're trying to get this job, you need to surround yourself with people that are trying to be better in that field. If you're trying to get a boyfriend, you need to not hang around girls that are drinking every day, going out and partying. Yeah. You need to hang around women that have good, healthy, longevity, relationships.
One part to that.
Yeah.
Smile. It's probably somebody approach you. You ever notice, this is a sidebar, right? You ever notice like the guy to get the girl, right? It's like, how you get her? He was the one who had courage to go up there and actually talk to her. A lot of times guys won't approach. But if you smiled, that guy that you've been kind of looking at the corner of your eye just may approach.
People in general are afraid to communicate in real time. There's nothing.
I got some spicy stuff for you.
Okay, I almost. Oh, I don't want to. All right, here we go. It's easier to talk to people 30 and up because they're not socially stunted. I think younger people, from my experience, are so used to being like this that they're not used to responding in real time. You see the dots on their head, figuring out.
Like, you gotta send them a message on Instagram or something crazy. Like my kid, like my youngest text, we'll be in there and like instead of communicating, I'll get the long text. It's like that's the way their mind works.
It's like, bro, you gotta you're gonna have a hard time in life if you can't communicate effectively in real time. Articulate your words and thoughts. It's not that difficult. And like, listen, we all, the world's hard, right? I get it. It's a tough place, but it doesn't have to be that tough.
Yeah, and just the fact that you're here and you was born, you're alive, like you was meant to be.
You're already winning.
Yeah, all right. So look, let's get a little messy.
Okay.
Gym relationships.
Oh brother. Oh boy.
So look, the other day, without naming names.
Okay.
I seen, I'm not.
It's a soap opera,
yes,
but go ahead.
I'm married, so I
Right.
see stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And happily married. So, how you see somebody, they with the girl, you might see them in the parking lot talking to each other. Whatever.
Right.
Whatever, cool. That's you're on your way out. All right, she with him. Whatever. You just getting familiar with who's who, what people come in there, they be together, then somebody get pregnant and stuff happens in the gym. But then you'll see the girl. I see one girl that I say talking to a dude a couple months ago, kissing another dude. I'm like, oh, all right, so I guess that ain't that folded. Like you see it, like it's like quick turnovers.
Yeah.
And then they just like stop coming to the gym for a while.
Yeah,
they'll leave Exile and go to like Brick Body or go to Chisel.
I consider myself a watcher. If you pay attention, you observe a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's like you got to know how to distinguish people. I'm a friendly guy, but there's tons of people in the gym I won't talk to because it might not be true, but they give off the perception of something that I don't want associated with me, and that's all it takes. Perception is everything, and I don't know. I can't speak for other people, but how people perceive me is important.
Yes.
And if I think you have a negative perception, I don't want you anywhere near me. So I'm always willing to give most people a shot, but I watch. We're all in the gym. I don't care what anyone says. We all see each other.
Yes, we do.
And I see how certain people act over and over again, day after day, when I'm in the gym. It's just like, it's not my cup of tea. It's not for me. I wouldn't want to associate with individuals like that.
I know what I think to add to what you're saying. A lot of times, right, for instance, right, it's just about proximity, being around people. Think if you spend the majority of your time there, you know what I mean, and people gonna like people or like the way they look or whatever. But the gym is not really a place where we go to hook up.
No,
even when I was single, it wasn't a place you go to hook up. Now you could admire, like, oh dang, we're men, you know what I mean. But it's a respectful way to do that as well. But like sometimes, just because somebody's the opposite of sex, it's not always sex. It's like, how you doing? Just generally hi. You know what I mean? Like we're people, we're human. Everything ain't always necessarily about hooking up.
Yeah,
for a lot of people, this is their first time.
Right.
Not looking at their phones
and
around other humans.
I think people don't know. They just don't know how to interact. Yeah. You can. There's no ulterior motive for me when I approach people, men or women. It's just like if I think I'm like, yo, your arms look dope. Your arms look dope, guy or girl. If you got killer legs, you got killer. That's as far as it goes because. At the end of the day, the gym is my happy place. Yeah, I don't want anyone stress or drama. Get the fuck away from me with that. I don't want.
Especially if you're a relationship hopper, they with that person now. You come in, he got the new girl, and then it's like, dude, we come here to work out.
Yeah, you're not. I'm not. You're not messing up Excel for me. So you like, it's not. Again, I pay a gym membership to work out. So I can get bigger muscles to win bodybuilding shows. Everything else is secondary. So, I see that all the time. And, the more closer I become with some people, I'll ask them like, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, what if they're not like that in real life? It's like, well, if you're not like that, why are you portraying it in public?
Right.
What do you think what am I supposed to assume? It's like, if you're saying this is not how this person really is, then why are they barking like a dog? If you know what I mean, like, if you want people to think a certain way about you, you need to portray a certain way. You can't just expect people to either assume or everyone judges a book by its cover. I hate to admit it.
They do.
Everyone judges a book by its cover. So you want to present your best foot forward. And as they get to know you, they read the book, they learn, oh, this person's amazing. They've got great morals. They're a fun person. They care about this. They care about that. But if all you portray is like death and brimstone, well, I'm not reading that book.
Exactly.
I don't want anything to do with that.
And you know what's crazy? Especially like, I know there's a whole lot of testosterone in there.
Sure.
But at the same time, like we at the gym, and I get it. You gotta, whatever lift your weights, right? But at the same time, like you said, if you portray yourself like that out in here, why would I want to deal with you outside?
Why would I assume anything else?
Said, first, we're here to, look good, take care of stuff. That's what we have memberships for. But like, if you meet nice people and they all become friends, that's a bonus.
Yeah, that is a bonus.
That's one thing I noticed too. Like,
the community is important.
Yeah, but people, it's people that be acting on like that don't mean nothing. I don't like that either. Like,
the sad thing is, it's men and women.
Yeah.
Like, and I've noticed over the last 5 years, women, a lot of women are as just raw as the men are, and like that's just not fun to be around when guys are doing this. Like,
fit in.
Yeah, it's like, just when I work out, like, yeah, we're going to go hard, we're going to push, but it's like, I don't need you to try and prove anything to me or ego lift. Or like, if your form is bad, I'm going to say it for your safety, not to like try
to shoot you down.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like make you feel bad about yourself, but hey, man, you're going to hurt yourself doing that,
And
maybe you should lower the weight.
And the older you get, the longer it takes to heal. That's all
right. It's just I don't have a lot of I don't have as many fucks anymore for like a lot of that stuff. I am who I am. I think I'm a good person. I try to be a good person, and I'm always open to because everyone's so crappy.
Yeah.
The world's a hard, tough place. So I don't want to be another dark outlet. I want to be I want to be a shining place for people that if you talk to me, you're in a safe space. You can be yourself around me because I'm gonna be myself, and myself's a nerdy, dorky dude.
Ain't nothing wrong with being nerdy and dorky. We need to bring that back.
Well, I think everyone's so busy trying to be tough and cool, and some people are naturally like that, and that's fine.
Cute. That's
everyone's
tough and cute.
Everyone's trying to put up this persona that they're not, and it's like, yo, bro, I'm not dumb. I can see through that shit. So
that don't even bother me though.
No, it's just like
I always fight fire with water. I already know why. I'm not trying to prove myself.
That's a good
one. It
one.
don't even matter. So like, and then a lot of times I'm older than both of us. We older than a lot of the guys. They may look a little older for whatever reason, but we older than a bunch of the guys.
Right.
So it's like, hey, whatever. I was going to say, what about how you feel about like just the era of influencers? Like, you in the gym, like guys got whole camera crews.
I mean, you ask anyone at XL.
I was one of those too. I'm just saying.
I mean, you ask anyone at XL when you see the production coming, we're like, oh fuck, there goes my workout.
Saturday morning.
Great, especially it's nothing worse than if you come in at an odd hour, like you come in at like, you come in on a Sunday at 9:00 or something like that, and there's some goofball in there with his Goonies, it's like, great, there goes my workout. But at the end of the day, when it comes to just recording in general, I like to record.
Yeah.
It's just, you just gotta be respectful and mindful of the people around you. That's all it is. Like if I see someone recording and I can walk out of the way, I'll walk out of the way. But some people are just like real uppity and like entitled about it. It's like when those people are recording, I'm walking right through your fucking shot, and I want you to say something. But it's just like we all want to be seen. We all want to be recognized. That's why we do it. Like we do it because it's in any field. I saw this one thing where they talk about like artists. Artists put their paintings on walls. We're doing the same thing. It's just digital.
True. That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when people think they're entitled to space because of maybe they have a huge following, or
the thing is when they in there and when all the different little crews in there at the same time.
Oh yeah.
That's when it's the worst.
I mean, so it's not a problem with XL, but XL is a great gym.
It is.
So the better the reputation of a gym is, it's going to flock more people.
I agree.
That's good for business. That's that's good. It's great for them, but that's gonna eventually bring in people that are influencers that want to do videos there. It is what it is. I genuinely don't care. It's just as long as I can do my workout in peace. That's that's all that matters.
Filming for me.
And go ahead.
No, I just think that it holds me accountable.
Yes.
I haven't been filming, and I think I'm gonna get back into filming, and it just held me accountable. Like, and I would post. First, I used to post it on my Instagram. And I just went to the story because it was easier.
Sure, yeah.
Versus archive and stuff or whatever. But it was a way to hold myself accountable, and it's like I wasn't doing it for nobody. I was doing it for myself. And then, like, I had some huge following. People like, when the next short drop? No, I'm doing it for myself, and I think that's what's missing now. And I think I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna charge up them GoPros.
Yeah, let's go, man. Because
start filming again.
I always record my last set because I always work out alone.
Yeah.
90% of the time. Yeah. So it's my extra accountability. It's like, all right, don't bitch up. You're recording this, you know, get those reps.
Now I'm gonna go heavier. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna do more reps.
It's my way of mentally pushing myself through. It's like, cause I don't care how hard you train. If you train by yourself, there's always a degree of you can turn it down on yourself. So for me, recording is, I think having a training partner is extremely important. If you have a good one. If you have a good one.
Yeah.
If you have someone that's just going to run their mouth, you might as well be by yourself. Yeah. But you have someone that's going to push you through the reps, that's going to keep you accountable, then that's your progress will be way better than anyone else's. So I don't have that 90% of the time. So that's what the camera is. And then when I post it, I know, you know, I gave it my all and I don't have to feel bad about that, you know.
So how long is the off season for you, and what is coming up next?
Okay, so off season right now, it all depends on how I'm feeling. So right now, my goal is the first show I might potentially do is in February in Atlantic City. But I'm gonna see how I look at the end of the year. So evaluate in January, see if I've made enough, you know, gain, see how I feel mentally and physically. But, you know, I don't think it won't be that hard to get in shape for it.
This is stay ready so I ain't gotta get ready. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, you always want to be in striking.
saying, though, like,
you don't want to bulk too.
Ready, though.
Yeah, so like let's say I think I got in my best shape at the Yorton Cup, and I don't know what body percent I was, but I felt like I was in as closest to 5 as I've ever been.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind getting up. I don't want to be heavier than 20%. So, you know, talking about genetics again, some people are just genetically gifted in certain areas.
Yeah.
So unfortunate for me, I just have to get lean, and as my body's like, all right, let's go. It just happens. So I can't get big. Putting on size is extremely tough for me.
Same here.
I can be ready for if I stop my bulk January 1, I can be ready for a show by the end of February or something like that. So it's either that, and there's a bunch of shows, like there's a Vegas show in July. It's going to be the first pro show. It's called The Conqueror. That'll be I'm going to do that one, and then no one knows this.
Exclusive.
Yeah, no one knows this yet, but I want to do classic next year. Wow. So again, that's why I'm also starting to prioritize the legs a little bit more, because if I want to stand tall and be competitive in classic, you got to have wheels. Yeah. And you know, I don't want to embarrass myself out there. So I want to, no matter what I do, I want to be competitive. I want to be a threat, and I want to be proud of the product I made. So if I'm going to go classic, I need my legs to be a lot better than they are now.
I'm gonna do legs with you one of these days.
Yeah, man, let's do it. I'm always down to work out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so like, what if for somebody that's thinking about getting into powerlifting, bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know, what would you recommend? You know,
what category?
Like coming in the door. Like, let's use me as an example.
Okay.
If I was to say, hey, you know what, Roy, I'm thinking about doing it.
Well, you're gonna be a little bit different because you've already got a foundation built, right? So like there's some young kids that always talk to me, oh, you know, like teens, like, oh, wish I compete. It's like, well, just right now, I would just keep training, enjoy training, keep training, eat, grow, get bigger, get stronger, be mindful of, you know, don't eat like a slob, but eat with purpose, train with purpose, grow, and take advantage of that teen category while you can. But do them all. if you don't know where you don't know if you should be men's physique or classic or even open bodybuilding.
What's the difference between men's physiques and classic? I know Dave was talking about one of the shows was just like upper body. You had to worry about your legs. Long shorts.
I guess that's men's physique, right? Because they have the board shorts. But right. I mean, if your legs are showing, they count. And my personal opinion is, if you got trunks that are too long and they're past your knee, I think you get marked off on that, because what are you hiding? Lack of legs. So, I think you need to have a healthy balance of both. No one said you don't want to have big old monster tree trunks, but you can't just have pixie sticks either. So I think it's important to have a balanced physique no matter what the category. It's just in classic, you want bigger, more 3D muscles. Yeah. You want a little bit more grainy, dense look. Not crazy like it's such a fine line, right? Because if you're too grainy, well, that's bodybuilding level of grain, right? Yeah. So, conditioning matters in all categories. But I think for classic, you want to have great legs. You want to have nice round 3D muscles. And you want to have that nice, V-taper hourglass shape. I don't know if shredded glutes are important for classic. Yeah. I want to see if I can get lean enough personally for shredded glutes, because I've never had that, and I think it'll look trippy to look at. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it my all when I do classic.
You can hit all the. See, that's the thing. Listen to all that experience, like when it comes to differentiating between classic and men's physique. Like, that was dope,
right?
Because I did never think that much into it. Honestly, I don't know enough. You know what I mean? But what about? Do you ever think about coaching?
Yeah, so coaching is another kind of like touchy subject, because I have weird thoughts about how people handle coaching.
Yeah.
It feels like a morally gray place to coach people that you're going to compete against.
Oh, that part.
That just that personally bothers me. Yeah. Is like, a lot of people do it and it works fine for them, and I'm not knocking anyone who does it at all. Please, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just like, for me, it feels wrong to coach someone for a show that I'm going to do a show, and you're also going to do the show, and you're my client. So it's like I know people can put 100% into themselves and into someone else, but it's just like, well, if your client beats you, now are they the master now? Yeah. And if you beat your client, it's like, wow, you beat your client, big deal. That. So for me, training clients for shows is something I've always wanted to almost stay away from. I wouldn't mind doing it maybe, but it's just like, I'd rather train people for just all around health and fitness and longevity.
What about women?
Well, so for women's another ball game, because, all right, talking to camera again, women have it so tough in bodybuilding, and I don't, it's so expensive. You got my trunks are, if I want to get expensive, $85 or something like that. Girls are buying practice suits, their final suits, they're bedazzling it to death. They're spending thousands of dollars on this. Now, I could train someone to get in shape, but then you still need a posing coach, because I know they're posing for various categories that the women have, but I'm no expert in it. I've never spent enough time in it, and I would never dare. I would feel I wouldn't feel morally right taking someone's money. Yeah. Knowing I couldn't
even get them prepared.
No, so you're gonna pay me to train you. Then you're gonna pay a posing coach that's gonna train you to do that. Some of these girls have nutritionists as well. It's like, where's all this money? Where's all this money coming from?
Because for women, you gotta think too. Like, they're getting rid of hips and thighs. Like, they really shredding down to bare.
When I see shredded and jacked women, I know they've worked harder than almost any man, because they're fighting biology. Yeah, they're fighting hormones. They're fighting their body's like trying to hold on to this fat. Yeah. They're working their ass off. And I've told so many women that when if if you're as shredded as me or more or even close to, you've worked your ass off, and I'm so proud of you because it takes so much to get there.
Yeah.
It's so much harder. You're working with a lot of times less testosterone, you know. Yeah. You're fighting from a deficit, and you're looking that amazing. Go ahead.
I just want to be like a lot of women, like, you know, hopefully I'll be able to sit down with a female bodybuilder, but like just like the femininity, like, yeah, that. You see what I'm saying?
I talked to a lot of them about that.
Because like I'm pretty sure that because a lot of people, you know, it ain't no real stereotype, but people from the outside looking in and think, well, because she lift weights, so she's like jacked, she's this or she's that. Now, these regular people, they go to work every day, they got families, and they got to where they are from different paths, but they're here and they out here putting this work in and they looking good, and they went through all of that to get that look, to compete, walk across that stage. And I'm pretty sure with women, they're more critical than we are.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
So like them walking across that stage and boom, boom, then they do the back, and like that's a lot.
So I think
that's a lot.
From my experience, just from talking to women, because I love having these conversations. Is, you know, once they start their journey, a lot of their families go, "Oh, why do you're gonna look manly?" You know, they get all of that, and then if they get successful enough in the sport, do they go down the route of getting breast implants or not? And that whole dilemma of, you know, I've talked to girls where it's like, well, I still want to have my natural body, and that should still be feminine enough. But like you touched on briefly early on, it's still a pageant to a certain degree.
Yes.
So looking, you know, I've talked to girls, well, I got the implants because I still want to look more feminine, even though I have it's not presenting as much because of all the muscle, right? And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I think it'd be great to have girls on there who have not had the implants and who have, and what that journey's been like for them as far as like, you know, you know,
because like you gotta think like I say about you stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. You got women, they staying ready too, so like they gotta deal with in their day to day, you know, a lot of times because aesthetics, people like women to be a certain type of way, and you know, and so like they gotta deal with that.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? It's not to say there's something wrong. That's what I'm saying. But like just they looking, they're staying ready. You know, it's not one of those things where you get to a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You just let it all go. So like you still gonna look a certain type of way. You know what I mean? So like I wonder what that is like for a woman, because they see women, they got phones and algorithm push stuff their way, and women out here respectfully. you know, they, because I'm not a woman, so I understand what would drive a woman to get implants and they get these surgeries because they don't feel comfortable about themselves. So they want to enhance stuff, whatever, right? So I can't get into that, but you know, but then you got the opposite of women with muscles and and in shape, and a lot of times it look different on different women.
Sure.
So I don't know. That's just a
I mean,
I would love to ask.
I mean, oh man, so it's like, well, I would wonder if, you know, if I say lean all year round, I might be a little bit tired, but is it different for a woman because their biology, like, does that affect, you know, talking about like their menstrual cycle and all that kind of, does that affect them? And like, you know, that's it's a whole nother thing that we ain't got to worry about, you know? So again, you know, they're you know, this girl, she competed at the Yorton and she did well. She looked good, but I talked to her after the show and she said, oh, you know, I was bloated because I was that time. It's like you can't there's nothing you can do. It's like, and man,
imagine
like
all the hard work, not to cut you off, I apologize.
No, you're good.
All the hard work and then the day of the show.
You gotta worry, like that's a whole element, that's a whole realm I will never have to deal with. You know, it's crazy. So again, I always commend women on that. And when you're talking about like the implants and stuff like that, it's just like it's I think we can make assumptions.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, I think some people will make the argument, well, you know, bodybuilding's, you know, insecurity thing. You're doing that mask, you know, like, so what is the difference between someone getting an implant versus someone, you know, working 5 years to get the same thing? Well, it's like, well, I mean, first of all, you had to build it yourself. I mean, that kind of matters, but it's just like
more healthy, and then it's like it's less risk, and
you're putting some foreign in your body.
Exactly. And ultimately, like it's other benefits from actually working. Like when you gave the example of the gardening thing, it's more benefits to working to get to that point versus just getting somebody shove something inside your body. But I'm not judging.
Listen, I don't care what. It's your body. You genuinely do what you want. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, and I don't even judge. Like I see people with implants. It's like okay,
and all I mean, and the reason why I brought that up is like just trying to put myself in someone else's shoes, and I know women see everything. And a lot of stuff that they do is based on other stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you got the woman that's into fitness, and they got to take on all other different challenges. And not just fitness, but bodybuilding, where you got to look like you or the female version of you and do all the work to get there. And then, like, it's just a different level of discipline.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level.
When I see women with implants, top or bottom, I always think, I try and think in their shoes, like what made them think they weren't good enough already?
You know what?
That they had to do that.
What if somebody, the same way I had said, my father lifted up my shirt?
Yeah.
And something may have happened when they was a kid, and they ain't like what they seen when they walk by. Or they just comparing themselves naturally, because women do that. They say, yo, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and get a little button. I don't mean, and they still go to the gym. People still take care of themselves.
Right.
So it's like, all right, we're gonna get this little enhancement. Hopefully it's safe, nobody get hurt. Whatever, and and now I got that. Now I can work on other stuff that's in my mind seem realistic that I can work versus getting a whole ass.
I think girls who get those kind of implants, they get a certain stigma attached to them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a black label that, regardless of, they could be in the gym every day, busting their ass to build the physique that they want, but all they'll see is that implant, so that, that's not right. And I don't agree with it,
I'm with you. I don't think it's right either.
So,
because it's their body ultimately. When people do stuff to themselves, they doing stuff to themselves. But
yeah,
there's always got to think about, like, a lot of us, like, all of us, we answer things differently. Like for me, the gym was the answer. And then it became the answer for a lot of other things in my life, right? And whenever people come talk to me, I always recommend the gym because it worked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously it worked for you. And maybe for that person, the gym was the answer, but I wanted to do this on top of it.
Sure. Yeah. And I say, hey, as long as you, listen, at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with you, who cares what anyone says? Who cares?
It's no different than sticking a needle in yourself.
Right. It's your life. If you're happy with your results, who cares if I think you look good or not?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the key thing, man. Happy with yourself.
That's the. If I had to say I learned anything during this podcast, is that you have to be happy with yourself. Yeah. You can't rely on what other people think of you to, justify yourself. If you're not, if validation from others is the only way that you can feel happy about yourself, you're going to have a sad, long life. Because if you have to be okay with you. And that's why, again, I'm always trying to present this almost cartoonish happiness version of myself, of like being who I am, because this is who I am. And by me doing this, I'm trying to hopefully tell other people it's okay to be whoever you are. You don't have to, like, I spent a lot of my life trying to hide away and just fit in, because I always stood out. I was always the light-skinned black guy with freckles. I had blonde hair. I didn't fit in with most black communities. So I spent a long time just hiding away. I just wanted to be in the crowd, and then one day you just realize, who cares? Be you, and whoever is down for you is going to be down for you, and that's that.
I'm going to say this, and shout out to Darnell. He said sometimes the best thing that ever happens never happens. And all the things you went through, it helped shape the person you are. It didn't, because a lot of times, it could, stuff like that, you got to stay away because you don't feel like you fit in. It kind of you become jaded, but it didn't do that to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, if I'm being honest, I had my dark times, I think we all have to come with grips with the things that are troubling us,
Yeah.
but it's about overcoming it. If you let it beat you, then you're not going to be here anymore, or you're going to be this version of you that you don't like, and no one does.
But luckily, see, I've met guys that's in our industry that do what we do, fitness, who haven't, who had some tough upbringings, especially around black people. We how we act. We could be funny, especially in school, and it'll hang with you for the rest of your life.
Sure.
And you just see your people or people in general, because everybody's my people. You see people just from a certain lens, and it's like you kind of see everybody that way. I ain't trying to get down.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean.
I hear you.
But when you look at the you went through the darkness, whatever, you came out on the other side. But it's that just adds to your story in a sense, because I never thought about that. You know what I mean? As a grown up, I don't see you with the freckles. That's light skin brother.
Yeah,
but as a kid, now when you point that out,
listen,
you know how kids can be.
Look at you. I grew up military all over the world, and unfortunately, there wasn't always a lot.
Yeah.
I know in 2025, there's fucking light skinned black people everywhere. So where the hell were you guys when I was growing up? Where the hell I've been solo all this time, right?
But y'all left me out there.
But when I was a kid in the 90s, I was on my own, and kids are rough, and certain things kind of just stick because I grew up everywhere. So everywhere I went, people looked down on me for having freckles. And unfortunately, it was typically always in the black community. Yeah. I was always the white boy. I was like, I can't help being light skinned. I can't.
Assholes. We are assholes. But like, I went through stuff. I had to, I know exactly what you're talking about. It wasn't because I was light skinned or brown skinned or whatever.
Right.
But like, nah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, all the jokes that got cracked on me, made me a comedian today.
Right.
Like, I am the last person you want to do funnies with, because I got a thick skin.
Right.
I will cook rotisserie extra. They know.
no one can ever hurt my feelings, because
same here.
At this point in my life, I've been through it all, and no one can say something worse than I can say it about myself. So it's like, that's why I don't let anything get to me anymore. Like, the only things that bother me are, I don't like it when people are, I don't like bullies. I don't like
bullies either.
I don't like bullies. I don't like people who try and like take advantage of other people.
Right.
And I don't like arrogance. Really, that's. But I just treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah. That's the key, right?
That's
there.
it.
That's the key to humanity.
That's it.
Right,
and there's a lack of that across the board. Everyone's me first. What can I get? What aren't you doing for me? Mm-hmm. No one's thinking about what they can do for others, how they can serve other people, how they can help other people. That's the fundamental thing that's lost.
Yeah. Like why can't you be here like me? Like everybody got different circumstances and stuff like that. I don't want to get political, but that's like now I hope everybody see like where we are politically in the country. In my opinion, like we just lost humanity, and it's across the board, right? And it's like nobody works together, and it's like now what we see, in my personal opinion, don't represent the people.
Sure.
Because all right, everything got to be extreme, this side or that side.
Yeah.
The majority of the country, the majority of the people is somewhere in the middle of those sides.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we need that, bring that back, and the people supposed to represent us and work for us become like our idols somehow. And now it's like in reverse, when they just like little demigods and whatever they say, and that's the way we're supposed to go when they supposed to be doing what we say. That's the way it's supposed to go.
I think people would get back to where more. I think if we lost not the internet but social media, as much as I enjoy social media is fun, but social media kind of sucks too. I think if we got rid of social media, I think people would snap out of this bubble that they're in about like this online persona, and like I think people would genuinely start being better to one another.
I think so too, because I equate that to. I always say, you look at your phone, the world's burning and everything, then you look out the door, the birds are chirping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this people interactions on a daily is nothing like how people try to portray it online.
I prefer in-person interactions over online any day.
Absolutely.
Any day.
Absolutely.
Any day. And that's across the board, like online games. I'd rather get people together for a board game. I mean, I listen, I try and find the last game I tried to play was Marvel Rivals. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I'm not a game player.
So
Duty.
Okay. So I tried to play that for a while, but once the competition started, gaming world and bodybuilding world don't exist. Yeah. Gaming world means staying up late, potentially eating junk food. Yes. That completely conflicts with bodybuilding. Yes. So, I was playing for a while and I was enjoying it, but I mean, I haven't probably played in like 4 or 5 months. Again, it's prioritizing what's important, is having the discipline, we all have the same 24 hours. It's just people don't manage their time. That's what it comes down to.
And the thing is, and people got to understand this, it's a starting point. Like, he had a starting point. I had a starting point. Everything has a starting point. And you're not going to be where he is. You're not going to be where I am. You got to have your own starting point, your own journey. And it's going to work for you the way it's supposed to work for you. You're going to look good the way you look good. You're going to prosper the way you're supposed to prosper. But you have to start at some point.
Stop comparing yourself to other people, man. Don't compare yourself to other people's fitness journey, where they are in life. Get the fuck offline, because it's not real, man. It is not real. Everyone's just posting their highlights. That's it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes me too, but I don't mind posting fails and stuff like that. I mean, I try to be as genuine as a person as I can be, as much as I can be, because I feel like everyone's so funny. Mm-hmm. I think most people are like I'll see people post online. I'm like, you are nothing like that in real life. I see you.
Yeah.
You are nothing how you present online.
How do you feel about like support, right? When it comes to like family or people versus strangers? How does proper support?
Hell no. So hopefully everyone has their real ones. They have their real circle. They're there for you no matter what. But as a whole, I get more support from complete strangers, that people that only know me online. Then there's people that have been following me for years that I've never met in real life, that I talk to. We have this long, great, actual like digital friendship. Yeah. And they're more supportive than the people that I see daily, weekly, monthly. It's crazy to me.
And then see the stuff that they like.
I know, that's what irks me. It's like, I can see you liking, The Rock's bullshit, right? Yeah. You'll like and comment on all this bull, but you know how much work I put into my posts, and you don't even acknowledge it.
Proximity.
It's just that's one of the few things that I find hurtful sometimes, because it's just like
Jesus from Nazareth, Carpenter's son.
It's like, what is going on here?
Like, we know who you are, so it's like, nah, you're talking about that same Jesus. I mean, I'm just saying, because like this proximity. Excuse me. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that bothers me sometimes. Especially because it's one thing if I'm just posting like me squat. Yeah, that takes no effort. But because I enjoy it, I like to make it fun. Yeah. So I do what I do, and sometimes I can take days, Yeah. And, I think any artist feels this way about anything that they're artistic about. I put my heart and soul into the things that I create. Mm-hmm. I'm very passionate about it. So, once I put it out, I enjoy it. I'm happy with the final product. It's just disheartening to know that other people don't, they don't see it, or they don't care to, but they'll watch, they'll like the drama going on over here. I was like, ugh.
That's how it is. I just wondered because, I mean, even though I would, like part of being a bodybuilder now, like you kind of become
a
content creator.
You have to be.
So like supports matters, like the likes, the shares and stuff like that. So other people can see you, even if one more person see you, that's a bonus, right? Yeah. And it might be that right person that might reach out and say, hey, I got this product, or I'm thinking about sponsoring you, whatever. I like the work you put in, blah, blah, blah. Prime example, I'm gonna point out a small win.
Okay.
Shout out to Travis.
Okay.
New Leaf Fitness.
Yeah.
He said this to me the other day. He was talking. And he was like, small wins. I got a small win. And it was like, I had made a video talking about Queens. I love the Queens rappers. Nas, he owned Master Pill.
Right.
Mobb Deep came out with another album. And then I get this notification from Master Pill. They was asking to be able to use my video.
Oh, snap.
Oh, all right.
Heck yeah.
Like, and the funny thing about the video was that when I talked about the video before I recorded, that should have been the video.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I did the actual video, you know, I'm Mobb Deep out camouflage, you know, and it wasn't, in my opinion, like what I wanted it to be. But
sure.
Obviously they saw it and said, you know what? Of course I tagged them in it. I ain't
sure.
trying to look.
Right.
But like they sent it, I'm like, oh, all right, small win. You know what I mean? Because like Nas might have seen my joint talking about it. Havoc might have seen my joint. Like to me, that's a small victory. You know what I mean? Because like small win and it what happens.
Those add up, man.
Yeah, so then now I don't get no money from it, but my stuff would be a wider audience to be able to see me talk about something. They say, who's this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me go check him out.
Yep.
You know,
that's how it goes, man.
And it's just one of those things like on this end, because it's like just talking or whatever, giving my opinion. It's like it's one of those things where like long game.
It's a marathon, man.
Yeah, this is the long game.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that, man.
Yeah. You know, I'll talk all day, but we can come back and do it again, man. Yeah.
Definitely, man. I appreciate. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, long overdue.
Yes, a lot of information. You know, we went off the cuff, and you got a lot of wisdom and knowledge, man. And thank you.
Yeah, man. It was great to be here.
That you motivate me as well. When I see you, I'm like, all right, I need to tighten the fuck up. Yeah, I need to work harder. I don't think I need to cheat. I need to lock in.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's all we all got to do.
We got a little bit of his secret sauce today. That's why I was getting it for us, y'all.
A little bit of that freckle power, baby.
Yeah, how much you eat? So you don't drink no water, huh? You drop water.
No water.
You eat no bread. All right. But thanks, man.
Yeah. No. This is cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thank
all right.
you.